Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the MLB slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Friday, August the 14th. Like most Friday nights, we got a big slate of MLB games, 12 games to be exact on Draftkings. It says 13, but one of the games has been postponed already. The White Sox-Cardinals game got postponed a while back, so 12 gamer on Draftkings. We do have 13 games though on Yahoo. There's a game between the Orioles and the Nationals. It's being played at 7:35 Eastern Time. I believe this is a makeup game from a postponement, a while back. So we got 13 games on Yahoo. We got 12 games on DraftKings. Should make for a pretty fun slate. A lot of ways to go at pitching. With 24 teams in action, there's a ton of ways you can stack as well. We'll be sure to break everything down. Like always, we will start off at pitcher, work our way through the pitcher player pool. I'll hit on all the pitchers that I have interest in today that I feel like I'm going to have exposure to in my lineups. Then we'll take a look at 3 specific hitters I like for DraftKings and for Yahoo. And towards the end of the video, we'll cover some stacks I like for my tournament lineups, some teams, I feel like I'm going to be stacking up tonight. But before we do get started, guys, as always, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. We are getting very close to 19,000 subscribers. We will probably have already hit 19,000 subscribers by the time you're watching this video. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, man. Ever since sports came back, ever since the NBA and MLB returned, my channel has really took off. You guys have been showing a ton of support. We've got a lot of new faces in the comment section, which is something I love to see. Thank you to everyone who's come to check out the videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all those who have subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I'm uploading MLB videos every single day if I can. I'm trying to upload NBA videos every day as well. I will definitely have some MLB videos up for these Saturday and Sunday slates because there will be no NBA games this weekend. The playoffs start on Monday, so I won't have to worry about NBA this weekend. I can definitely focus on MLB. I'll be sure to have some videos up this weekend, but yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you do want to get more content from me, that is available, down below on Patreon. If you really enjoy these videos, if they really help you, you can definitely check out the stuff I have on Patreon if you do want to get more content from me. My articles are posted over there. I do post articles for both NBA and MLB Monday through Friday over on Patreon. They're very in-depth, usually 8 to 10 pages long, going through each position, talking about my favorite plays at each position. I also give some home run calls over on Patreon. I give some updated core plays over there. And I do have a Discord chat that you can join where, I'm in Discord throughout the day. Everyone else, Patreon members, are in Discord throughout the day. You can talk to them, you can talk to me, ask me questions, whether it's DFS related, lineup questions, doesn't really matter. I'm in there to answer any of you guys' questions. So check out the Patreon, if you want to get more content from me, it is linked down below in the description. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at pitcher today. Pretty loaded pitching slate, 12 gamers, so you're obviously going to have a lot of options. At the top, we got 3 guys over 10K on DraftKings. We got Jacob deGrom, Garrett Cole, and Clayton Kershaw. So just talking about these 3 guys first, choosing between the 3, I think Garrett Cole might be my favorite here against the Red Sox. None of them are getting great matchups. DeGrom has to face the Phillies, pretty good lineup. Cole has to face the Red Sox, pretty good lineup too. And then Kershaw has to face an Angels team that has a pretty good lineup at the top. Their lineup towards the bottom, not as good, but very stout lineup at the top. I think Kershaw's by far, my third guy here. I just don't think he has like the strikeout upside that guys like Jacob deGrom and Garrett Cole have. So it's definitely between deGrom and Cole. And I think I do give the edge to Garrett Cole here. The matchup against the Red Sox, obviously, not a good one. The Red Sox do have a really good lineup. They have guys that don't really strike out either. But still, it's Garrett Cole, man. This is a guy that had nearly a 40% K rate last season. Honestly, I think his K rate might have been like over 40% last season. He's an elite strikeout pitcher. He can strike out anybody. Doesn't really matter. 10 Ks in his last start against the Rays. Only went 4 2/3 innings. Still got 10 strikeouts. He hasn't been as elite as I thought he would have been, to start the season. We saw this guy just go out and absolutely mow down teams, put up 35, 40 DraftKings points like almost every other start. He's still been solid, at least 19 DraftKings points in every start so far this season. I do like him here against the Red Sox. I think he has just his strikeout stuff is just so good that he can strike out anybody, even though it is a Red Sox team. If we look at right-handed pitching last season, we'll take a look at their splits. It's a little bit of a different lineup. They don't have Mookie Betts anymore. But still, you look at this Boston team, they were towards the bottom of the league in K rate against righties last season at 21.3%. If we look at the Phillies, Jacob deGrom's matchup, the Phillies, I believe, were about middle of the pack. They were actually 10th highest, 23.4%. The Phillies are a team, though, that's been heating up as of late. They started off the season really cold, but they've been heating up as of late. Guys like, Hoskins, Real Muto, he had 2 homers on Thursday. He's been hitting the ball incredibly well. Didi, we know, is a solid hitter. Gene Segura's been a little bit better lately. The bottom of the lineup, like Alec Boehm and Roman Quinn, those are some easy outs, but the 1 through 7 for this Phillies lineup is really solid. I think I do give the slight edge to Cole here. I guess a little bit of concern with DeGrom as well. He is coming from an injury. He was able to make it through his last start against the Marlins. He did get I believe it was like a finger injury, though, in that game. They started warming up the bullpen, and it looked like DeGrom was going to have to come out of the game, but I guess he ultimately, was able to talk to the manager and let him stay in the game. So I guess that could be a little bit of concern here, if he somehow injures that finger again. I think I do prefer Garrett Cole today for $600 less. If we look at Yahoo's pricing, Cole's $2 more than DeGrom. I think if I can find the $2, I'm probably just going to get to Cole over DeGrom. But honestly, I don't really think I'm going to be, building around these pitchers tonight. I think we got some really strong options for cheaper that we'll talk about in a second. So Merrill Kelly, he's been pitching incredibly well this season. He's up to 9,800 on DraftKings. It's really tough to pay that price tag for him. I like the matchup, though, against the Padres. This is a Padres team that was top 5 in the league last season. Actually top 2, second highest K rate against right-handed pitching last season at 26.5%. Kelly's been really good, especially with the strikeouts. He got 7 Ks against Texas. His last start was against the Padres, got 4 Ks, 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, finished with almost 20 DraftKings points. I doubt I go to him on DraftKings, but talking about Yahoo's pricing, you got Merrill Kelly all the way down here at $32. Same price as guys like Chad Kuhl and Ivan Nova. I think Merrill Kelly looks like a very good play on Yahoo. He will definitely be one of my higher-owned pitchers over there. I do like him quite a bit. If I'm going to play him today, it's going to be on Yahoo for sure. On DraftKings, I'd probably rather go to someone like Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, not the best spot here against the Pirates. The Pirates were able to really, rough up Anthony DeSclafani on Thursday. I think they scored like 9 runs on Thursday. They're not a team that strikes out much. They had one of the lowest K rates in the league, second lowest K rate against right-handed pitching last season. They still don't have the best lineup. If you look at their projected lineup for tomorrow, there's not a ton of hitters in this lineup you're scared of. Adam Frazier, a good contact hitter. Not much power, though. Josh Bell, definitely a strong hitter. Doesn't really strike out much, has a lot of power. But there are some easy outs here, especially when you get to the bottom of the lineup. Just a 3.6 implied run total for the Pirates, which is appealing. For what it's worth, this game, it looks like it's going to have some rain concerns, so that'll be something we need to monitor heading up to lock. Assuming, it's going to play, I don't mind Sonny Gray here, even in a bad strikeout matchup. He's just such a good strikeout pitcher. At least 7 Ks in every start this season. This is a guy that can go out there and just mow down any team. He's really turned things around ever since he left Oakland and left the Yankees. He's just been a completely different pitcher. Really been elite, been getting a ton of swings and misses, has a really good curveball, so I do like Sonny Gray. I think, at 9,600, that's a little bit too cheap for a guy that has, I believe the 3rd highest or 4th highest K rate on this slate behind Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom. I think he's right behind those 2 guys, so I definitely like Gray at 9,600. Aaron Savale's been really good this season. At 9,300, though, I think I'd rather play Sonny Gray. Even though this is a great spot for him against the Tigers, I just think Sonny Gray's a better pitcher. Even though Gray has a tougher matchup, I just think Gray's more talented. So I'm going to bank on the talent of Gray over a guy like Savale, even though, his matchup is very friendly against the Tigers. Tyler Chatwood's been a completely different pitcher this season. He got absolutely tore up in his last start against the Royals. But before that start, against the Pirates, he was great in that start, 6 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts against the Brewers. The same matchup, his first start of the season was against the Brewers. Pitched 6 innings, only allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. I think he's been changing up his pitches, which is one of the reasons he's been performing so well this season. I can't remember what pitch it is that he's throwing more, but it's obviously, he's had success doing it. At 9,100, though, I just don't think I can pay that for Tyler Chatwood when we have guys like, Sonny Gray for 500 more. We're going to talk about some guys for cheaper that I like, so, maybe other people will chase that. I'll probably be off of Chatwood today. Lance Lynn's a really good pitcher, but he's got to pitch in Coors Field today. He's 9K as well. We're not getting much of a discount. Don't see myself going there. Framber Valdez, though, that's definitely the first guy I want to talk about, so I like him a lot on both sides. He's 8,800 on DraftKings. very nicely priced. If we look over on Yahoo, you got Framber Valdez at $35. Along with Merrill Kelly, I think Framber Valdez probably one of the more underpriced pitchers on Yahoo. So this is a guy that does have a lot of strikeout stuff, has really good upside. If we do look at K rate last season against left-handed pitching, the Mariners, they were towards the top of the league in K rate against lefties, sixth highest K rate, 24.8%. This is a really bad Mariners lineup. I mean, this is a team that I've picked on all season. I'm not going to stop now. They have a low total, one of the lowest on the slate at 3.6 runs. It's just not a good lineup. I mean, Kyle Lewis, one of their young prospects, is a really good hitter. But other than that, I mean, they have a lot of easy outs here, a lot of guys that will strike out, especially like, J.P. Crawford against lefties, Kyle Seager against lefties. You're going to have some lefties in here, and Valdez has really good numbers against lefties. I guess he struggles more to righties, but he still gets a lot of strikeouts to both sides of the plate. He's made 2 starts this season, I believe. Let me check that real quick. He's actually made 3 starts this season. So his first start was against the Dodgers, really struggled. But then his last 2 against the Angels in Oakland, 5 innings against the Angels, 5 shutout innings, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And then last start against Oakland, pitched 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 1 earned run, still got 9 strikeouts in that start. Like, this is a guy that has good strikeout stuff, facing the Mariners team, that was towards the top of the league in K rate against lefties last season. I like Framber Valdez a lot. I think he is one of my favorite pitchers in that 8K range. And then another guy that I like a ton is Frankie Montas. I just think Frankie Montas is way too cheap on DraftKings. He's been excellent his last 2 starts. Against Seattle, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts. Last start against the Astros, pitched a shutout, 7 innings, 2 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, 31 and 28 DraftKings points in his last 2 starts. Gets a fantastic matchup today against the Giants. But right now, the Giants do have the lowest implied total on the slate at 3.4 runs. Montas getting to pitch in San Francisco in Oracle Park. His home ballpark is one of the more pitcher-friendly parks. But the Giant Stadium, Oracle Park, is the number 1 pitcher's park in baseball. You're always going to see low totals at this ballpark. It's just how it is. So love the spot for Montas here. Obviously not scared of this Giants lineup. I mean, they have some guys questionable right now. Like, they have 3 guys questionable, so I don't know who would even play if those guys were to, have to miss this game and not be in the lineup. I don't even know who they would bring in off the bench. Obviously, if guys like Pablo Sandoval, Donovan Solano, Austin Slater, if these guys are starting over you, then you can't be that good. So, yeah, love the spot here for Frankie Montas. I think he's probably my favorite pitcher overall. Like, why is he 8,400 against the Giants when Tyler Chatwood's 9,100 against the Brewers? And, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I think Frankie Montas just way too cheap today. I do expect him to be popular, but I think there's probably chalk that I'm fine eating. I usually do eat the chalk when it comes to pitcher, and then I'll kind of differentiate with my bats. I like Valdez and Montas a lot today as a pairing you can go to. Obviously, we talked about other guys, Cole at the top, Sonny Gray, Savale if you wanted to go there. But I think Valdez and Montas are probably my 2 favorite pitchers that stand out to me. And then if we're looking for value at pitcher, if we're looking maybe like 7K and below, and there really isn't much. I guess the one guy that I do like under 7K is probably Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright hasn't looked great this season against the Mets, Rays, and Phillies. He's had 3 relatively tough starts. -2 DraftKings points against the Rays, 12 DK points against the Mets, and then in his last start against the Phillies, 6 DraftKings points in that start. This is by far, though, the best matchup he's had here against the Marlins. He's also just 6,500. There's a course game on this slate, so there's probably going to be bats we want to pay up for. I could definitely see using Kyle Wright as a value pitcher at 6,500. I know he's really cheap over here on Yahoo. You got Kyle Wright coming in at minimum salary, just $25. If you're looking to stack up cores or play an expensive stack, I think Kyle Wright's probably the guy that I'm going to go to in lineups where I'm looking for expensive bats. Don't really see myself going to like Ivan Nova, or I don't want to play Kikuchi against the Astros, even though Kikuchi's been a lot better this season. Johnny Cueto, maybe you could look to against Oakland. Not the best matchup, but he's getting to pitch at home in Oracle Park. It's a great pitcher's park. Cueto is one of those guys that can just go out there and pitch 6 innings, allow maybe 5 or 6 hits, 1 or 2 runs, get like 4 strikeouts, get a win, finish with like 16 DraftKings points. Like, I could see Cueto doing that, and at 5,200, that at least puts him in play for me. But I think we covered everything at pitcher, at least value wise. So let's go ahead and talk about some bats now. So we do have a Coors slate today. We have a game in Coors. The Rockies right now have a 6.1 implied run total against Lance Lynn. The Rangers have a 6.5 implied run total against Ryan Castellani. I don't even know who this guy is. Just given the Rangers 6.5 implied run total, I have to assume this Castellani guy isn't too good. I did look up his minor league numbers. And looking at his minor league numbers, they're not very good. Back in 2019 in AAA, he allowed 2.91 home runs per 9, which is a lot for AAA. His K rate, I believe, is pretty low too. Like in AAA, just a 21.8% K rate, so not a guy that really gets strikeouts. I like this spot a lot for the Rangers. I think these Rangers bats look like some of the best bats on the slate. Now, they are very expensive on DraftKings. There's no one in this lineup under 4K, so you're going to have to pay for these guys. But you can still find some underpriced hitters. But obviously, if we're stacking the Rangers in Coors, I think it starts with Joey Gallo, hands down. $5,400 on DraftKings. Looking over to Yahoo, you got Gallo coming in at $21. He's one of my favorite pay-up options on the slate. Obviously, Coors Field, best hitters park in baseball. Joey Gallo, one of the best power hitters in baseball. And now he's facing a right-handed pitcher in Castellani that, as we discussed, doesn't really get strikeouts. Had just a 21% K rate in AAA, which probably isn't going to suit him or set him up well here in the majors. If guys can't even get 25% K rate in the minors, what are they going to do in the majors? Not much when it comes to strikeouts. We should see a lot of balls in play here for the Rangers in Coors Field. Great hitters park. Love Joey Gallo here. I think he's one of the top pay-up options on the slate. Definitely a hitter I want to try and build around if possible. And obviously, when I'm stacking the Rangers tonight, I'm definitely Joey Gallo is definitely going to be one of the first guys in my Rangers stacks. But then if we're looking maybe for some value, Willie Calhoun is someone that I do like as a value. $4,200 on DK, not too expensive. Should be batting third. He has been batting third recently. He's pretty cheap on Yahoo as well. I like him over there too. You got Willie Calhoun coming in at $12 on Yahoo. So this is a guy that actually has some sneaky power. So far this season he hasn't homered, but I believe he did have a good amount of homers in a short amount of time that he played last season. He does have some good speed, especially in a part like Coors Field. If you can hit a ball into the outfield, you can turn a single into a double into a triple with how spacious that outfield is. I like Calhoun quite a bit here. This is a guy that, does struggle with strikeouts. He strikes out a lot, but like we said earlier, this Castellani pitcher for the Rockies didn't really get strikeouts in AAA, so I don't expect him to really get Ks here in the majors. We should see a lot of balls in play for the Rangers. I like the Rangers a ton today. They're definitely one of my favorite stacks. Joey Gallo, one of my top pay-up options from that lineup. Willie Calhoun, I like a lot. I guess you could call him a value for $4,200. Definitely going to be two of the first guys in my stacks from the Rangers tonight. And then obviously guys like Sin-Soo Choo, Nick Solak, both have power. Obviously, Joey Gallo has power. Todd Frazier, he still even has a little bit of power. Rougned Odor has some power. Connor Falefa, Andrus don't have a ton of power, but Robinson Chirinos, he's expensive, but this is a guy that also has a lot of pop. Even though we prefer to roster Chirinos against lefties, he still has some pop against righties. I definitely like the Rangers here. I think their entire lineup's in play. I'm not going to leave any of these guys out of my stacks. I want to have, a lot of different Rangers stacks, just different combinations. Two guys that are going to be, kind of the first in my stacks are definitely Gallo and Calhoun. Really like those two guys from the Rangers tonight. And then another team that I do like quite a bit, if you're looking to get away from Coors, the probability of Coors being the top stack of the night, I don't know if it's high enough to where you should just go all in on Coors. There are definitely some other teams you should look to. And I think the Indians are a team that gives us some upside here against Ivan Nova. Ivan Nova is just not a pitcher that I really, believe in. This is a guy that I pretty much always stack against whenever he's on the mound. If we take a look at his splits last season, against righties and against lefties, he was pretty terrible to both sides of the plate. Allowed a 347 WOBA to lefties, a 355 WOBA to righties. Gave up a good amount of home runs as well, 1.26 home runs per 9 to righties, 1.63 to lefties. And then if you look at the K rate, just not a guy that gets strikeouts at all, pitches to contact, just a 14% K rate to both sides of the plate. That sets up incredibly well for these Indians bats. We should see a ton of balls in play. They have a lot of power in their lineup. They have guys that strike out a lot. Franmil Reyes, Domingo Santana. If Bradley Zimmer, cracks the lineup, he's a guy that strikes out a lot. But those are also guys that have a ton of power. Ivan Nova is going to let you put the ball in play. He pitches to contact, doesn't really get strikeouts. Looking at the DraftKings pricing, they're pretty expensive. You got guys like Ramirez and Lindor over $5K. But you still can find some value here. Franmil Reyes, 4,200. Carlos Santana, 4,300. Domingo Santana, 3,300. Mercado, 3,100. Sandy Leon, if he's in the lineup, he's a stone minimum catcher, just 2K. Definitely some good plays from this Indians lineup. To start off on DraftKings, I think Carlos Santana looks really good on DK first base. Just 4,300 on DK. Hasn't been great so far this season, just batting 182 on the season. Does have 1 home run. I mean, this is a guy that does have a good amount of pop, especially against righties. He's a switch hitter, so no matter who's on the mound, once Nova comes out of the game, even if a lefty comes in, Carlos Santana is still going to have the platoon advantage even against a lefty. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure his numbers are better against right-handed pitching, but I might be wrong there. Honestly, can't remember. I think he is slightly better against righties, but he still has power to both sides of the plate. Just a really good hitter overall. Doesn't strike out too much, is going to put the ball in play. Obviously, Ivan Nova doesn't get strikeouts and is going to let you put the ball in play. I like Carlos Santana a lot at first base. I think he looks really good from the Indians tonight. And then looking at Yahoo's pricing, you got some really good cheap bats from the Indians on Yahoo. Francisco Lindor, I think, is one that really stands out, and we'll talk about in a second. He's only $13. Santana, $14. Reyes, $14. Domingo Santana's only $8. Oscar Mercado's minimum salary, he's $7. Pretty easy to stack up the Indians. I think I'm definitely going to have a good amount of Indian stacks on Yahoo. And, the first guy that's going to be in my Indian stacks on Yahoo is Francisco Lindor. I mean, I don't know why he's only $13 on Yahoo. The fact that he's, cheaper than guys like, or that he's literally the same price as like Jose Iglesias. He's cheaper than J.P. Crawford. Like, why is Francisco Lindor so cheap? He should be probably the second or third most expensive shortstop. We're getting Lindor at a great discount on Yahoo. I think he looks like an incredible play at $13. I mean, this is still one of the best hitters in the league, in my opinion. Incredibly talented, has power, has speed. 3 home runs on the season. Just batting .227, but still a guy that puts the ball in play, has a ton of power. If he gets on base, hasn't stolen any bases yet, but he's still always a threat to run. Love the spot here for him against Nova. And if I'm pretty sure Lindor, kind of like Santana, he's a switch hitter, going to have the platoon advantage no matter who's on the mound, if it's a lefty or righty. I'm pretty sure Lindor is better against right-handed pitching, though. I might be mistaken there as well. I know between Santana and Lindor, I think one of them might be better against lefties. I just can't remember which one it is. Lindor, though, I mean, at $13 on Yahoo, he looks like an incredible play at that price. I think, Rangers, Indians going to be 2 of my more popular stacks on Yahoo for sure. In stacks or in lineups where I have, like Ranger stacks, I'm probably going to have to go a little bit cheaper at pitching. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a Ranger stack in with Valdez and Montas unless I'm playing like 2 really cheap one-offs or something. I'll have to toy around with different lineup builds. I usually don't start building out my lineups till a couple hours before lock. Once lineups start flowing in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll get some value from this Rangers lineup. Maybe we'll see like Derek Dietrich crack the lineup. I know they signed Derek Dietrich. Just because this is the projected lineup, that doesn't obviously mean that's the lineup that they're going to roll out. It could be a little bit different. I mean, you do have some value with like Trinos, who is only $8. Odor, $15. That's not too bad. You could probably still get in a Ranger stack with some expensive pitching on Yahoo. Just might have to play 1 or 2 cheap one-offs. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm liking for this big slate tonight, guys. 12 gamer on DraftKings, 13 on Yahoo. I think we kind of broke it all down, talked about pitching, talked about a couple of hitters I like. Looking at stacks real quick before we end the video, obviously the Indians and the Rangers I like a ton. Going on to the other side of that Coors game, I mean, the Rockies I usually always have interest in when they're at home in Coors. Just, obviously a great hitter's park. They have a very high run total today. Lance Lynn is a good pitcher, though. He does struggle much more to lefties against righties. He's actually really, really good against righties. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to perform in Coors Field. I think Blackman, Murphy, McMahon, Dahl, Tapia, I think those guys still look like great plays today, even though Lance Lynn is a talented pitcher. I mean, David Dahl, I don't know why he's been batting 7th. Normally he leads off. If he happens to lead off for only $13 on Yahoo, that looks like a great value. McMahon for $12 I like a lot. Tapia only 10. I mean, Tony Walters is minimum salary. So you can definitely get in some of these Rockies bats. Hampson, Story, Arenado, they're expensive. Blackman's expensive, but you got some value with the 5 through 9 guys. So I do like the Rockies. I think they are going to be behind the Rangers and the Indians for me, though. Looking at some other teams that we could maybe target, Kikuchi's been much better this season, but I still like some Astros bats here against him. The Astros just have so many guys that hit left-handed pitching incredibly well. It's obviously Springer, Altuve, Bregman. Those are the top 3 guys, but Correa and Gurriel also have great numbers against lefties. I'll go ahead and say it Altuve for $15. Like, that is really, really cheap on Yahoo. I think Altuve looks like one of the best second base plays at that price. Springer for only $18. I like that a lot as well. So definitely like some Astros bats. The Twins are always a team I look to get to. I'll probably have some exposure to them for sure against Jake Junis. Junis is a guy that, sometimes he goes out there and pitches really well. Sometimes he goes out there and gives up like 3 home runs. This feels like a spot where maybe we get like bad Junis and, the Twins are able to put up some runs. They just have so much power, so many good hitters. And they're pretty affordable, looking at Yahoo's pricing. Mitch Garver's only $10. Araya's only $8. Marlon Gonzalez only $13, Polanco $13, Kepler $17. I do like the Twins quite a bit, but other than that, I don't see like any core stacks for me. I'll probably be mixing in some other teams though. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know who the Red Sox are pitching today. I don't know if we got that yet. Right now they have it as Brazier as the opener, and then Colton Brewer is going to be the long man. I don't know too much about Colton Brewer, but, I assume the Yankees are probably going to have a high total today. Probably going to be a team you want to get some exposure to. On Yahoo, these guys are still really cheap, besides LeMahieu and Judge. Like Torres for 11, Mike Ford for 13, Gary Sanchez 10. Definitely like some Yankees bats here. Even some Nationals against Tommy Milone. Tommy Malone's just not that good of a pitcher. Always a guy I usually look to, stack against, especially when he's facing a decent lineup. Obviously, the Nats lineup isn't the same as it used to be, but they still have good guys at the top that can hit left-handed pitching well. Even though it's a lefty-lefty, like Juan Soto still hits left-handed pitching incredibly well, so I do like him. But yeah, I feel like core stacks for me, probably going to be the Indians for sure, the Rangers, the Twins, the Rockies, the Astros. Those are probably my 5 favorite teams today if I just had to, list off a couple 3 or 4 or 5 that I like. So yeah, guys, I think that's what I'm, liking for this big slate tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy, just make sure you hit that like button before you get out of here. Always appreciate the likes, guys. Hit the subscribe button as well. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're getting very close to 19,000 subscribers. I would appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. Help us get to that 19,000 subscriber mark. That's a hard word to say. We're getting very close. I think we're like 20 away. By the time you're watching this video, we might already be there. So hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell as well, so that way you do get notified every time I upload. And if you have not yet, you can check out my Patreon, link down below in the description. If you do want to get more content from me, if you really enjoy these YouTube videos and you want to see more that I have to offer, you can check out the Patreon and see all that I have to offer over there. Link down below in the description. But best of luck tonight, guys. Really appreciate you watching the video. I hope you did enjoy, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.